Hello and welcome to Decision 2022. We have the 2022 midterms, a year that many pundits are saying is going to be a red wave year. Can Republicans make it a red wave year and win back the Senate and the House? It is now 7 p.m. and the following states have poll closings. In the Georgia Senate race, it is currently too close to call. Senator Raphael Warnock is in the lead in this race. In the Indiana Senate race, Senator Todd Young has won re-election, defeating Woody Myers. In the Kentucky Senate race, Rand Paul is the projected winner, defeating Charles Booker. In the South Carolina Senate race, Tim Scott is the projected winner, defeating Mandy Norrell. This is Tim Scott's last race, as he has said. In the Vermont Senate race, President Pro Tempore Patrick Leahy has defeated Randy Brock to win re-election. In the Georgia governor race, former state Congresswoman Stacey Abrams is leading over Governor Brian Kemp. In the South Carolina governor race, Henry McMaster has won re-election, defeating Mayor Stephen K. Benjamin. In the Vermont governor race, Phil Scott has won a re-election, defeating Rebecca Holcomb. It is now 7:30 and the following states have poll closings. In the North Carolina Senate race, it is too close to call. Laura Trump, one of Donald Trump's daughter-in-law, is leading over State Senator Jeff Jackson. In the Ohio Senate race, Rob Portman has defeated John Cranley. In the Georgia Senate race, former Congressman Doug Collins now leading over Senator Raphael Warnock. In the Ohio governor race, it is too close to call. Governor Mike DeWine leading over John Cranley. In the Georgia governor race, again too close to call. Abrams still leading over Kemp. And it is now 8 p.m. and the following states have poll closings. In the Alabama Senate race, Mo Brooks has won the Senate seat, defeating Christopher England. Senator Richard Shelby had chosen not to run for re-election, not to run for a sixth term. Instead, Mo Brooks, who is a very vocal Trump supporter, a very vocal Trump Republican, picked up the seat for the populist wing of the Republican Party. In the Florida Senate race, it is too close to call. Marco Rubio is leading over Charlie Crist. In the Illinois Senate race, Tammy Duckworth has won, defeating Erica Harold. She has won re-election to a second term in the Senate. In the Maryland Senate race, a Republican making the Maryland race close in a blue state, but however it is the governor, very popular governor, Larry Hogan, is leading over Chris Van Hollen. In the Missouri Senate race, Roy Blunt has won, defeating Chris Koster. In the New Hampshire Senate race, again another blue state, being close by a very popular Republican governor, Chris Sununu. Governor Sununu is leading over Senator Hassan. In the Oklahoma Senate race, James Lankford has won a re-election, defeating Andrew Rice. In the Pennsylvania Senate race, it is too close to call. Donald Trump Jr., the son of former President Donald Trump, is leading over Governor Tom Wolf. In the Georgia Senate race, Doug Collins has flipped the first one of possibly many seats here tonight. The first flip of the night. Doug Collins has defeated Raphael Warnock to reflip the seat that Republicans lost 2 years ago in the Georgia runoff. In the North Carolina Senate race, it's too close to call. Laura Trump is still leading over Jeff Jackson. In the Alabama governor race, Kay Ivey wins re-election, defeating Sue Bell Cobb. In the Connecticut governor race, it's too close to call. Another blue state being close by a Republican. Strange. But Governor Ned Lamont is leading over former Small Business Administrator Linda McMahon. In the Florida governor race, too close to call. Governor DeSantis, who's been fairly popular throughout his governorship of Florida, is too close to call, running against Jane Castor. In the Illinois governor race, J.B. Pritzker, who has been criticized by many during his gubernatorial run, the race is too close to call, as Gene Ives has a 8 or 7 point disadvantage to Governor Pritzker. In the Maine governor race, is too close to call. Governor Mills is leading over former Governor LePage. In the Maryland governor race, too close to call. John Delaney is currently leading over Lieutenant Governor Boyd Rutherford. In the Massachusetts governor race, Charlie Baker has won a 4th term to the governorship. He is defeating very popular Mayor Marty Walsh, but also a very controversial one. So that could also hinder to the possibility of him winning, is due to the controversy Marty Walsh brings. The Maryland governor race, too close to call. Delaney still leading over Rutherford. The New Hampshire governor race, too close to call. we're going to be electing a new governor since Chris Sununu is running for Senate. Andrew Volinsky, the runner-up from the Democrat primary last time, is leading over Don Bolduc, who was the who dropped out in the New Hampshire Senate race after about a week or two after Sununu announced and decided to run for governor. He is currently leading, or he's currently behind Volinsky by 1.5 to 2 points. Oklahoma governor race, Kevin Stitt has won re-election, defeating Connie Johnson. The Pennsylvania governor race, too close to call, Lieutenant Governor John Fetterman leading over House Speaker Mike Turzai. The Rhode Island governor race, too close to call, Matt Brown's leading over Alan Fung, a very popular Republican in Rhode Island, Alan Fung is. In the Tennessee governor race, Bill Lee has won re-election, defeating Marquita Bradshaw. In the Ohio governor race, Mike DeWine has beaten John Cranley, winning a second term in the office, despite Cranley's huge wellspring of support from Republicans. It wasn't enough to beat Mike DeWine. In the Georgia governor race, the first flip for Democrats here tonight, as Stacey Abrams has defeated Brian Kemp 4 years after barely beating him, or barely losing to him, She has flipped the Georgia governor seat. It is now 8:30 and the following states have poll closings. In the Arkansas Senate race, John Boozman has won, defeating Wesley Clark. North Carolina Senate seat, Laura Trump has kept the vacant seat for Republicans. She has kept it secure. Laura Trump has defeated Jeff Jackson by roughly 2 or 3 points based off the data we have now. But Laura Trump might have just sparked a light under the Trump Republicans, saying that it is not over yet since she has won the Senate seat. Maybe it's not over. In the Florida Senate race, too close to call, Congressman Charlie Crist is now leading over Senator Rubio, a very unpopular, very middle of the road senator who has been attacked relentlessly by the populist wing of the Republican Party. The Maryland Senate race, too close to call, Larry Hogan currently leading over Chris Van Hollen still. New Hampshire Senate race, Chris Sununu leading over Maggie Hassan still. In the Pennsylvania Senate race, Tom Wolf is now leading over Donald Trump Jr. Let's see if Donald Trump Jr. can spark the same magic his, I guess you could say, his sister-in-law did earlier. Arkansas governor race, Lieutenant Governor Tim Griffin has won, defeating Jim Hendred. Illinois governor race, that's a typo, but J.B. Pritzker has won re-election, defeating Jan Ives. For the Connecticut governor race, too close to call, Linda McMahon now leading over Governor Ned Lamont. Florida governor race, Ron DeSantis now still leading over Jane Castor. The Maine governor race, Janet Mills still leading over Paula Page. Maryland governor race, John Delaney still leading over Boyd Rutherford. The New Hampshire governor race, too close to call, Andrew Volinsky still leading over Don Bolduc. Pennsylvania governor race, too close to call, but John Fetterman still leading over Mike Turzai. Rhode Island governor race, too close to call, Matt Brown still leading over Alan Fung. It is now 9 p.m. and the following states have poll closings. In the Arizona Senate race, too close to call, Governor Doug Ducey leading over Mark Kelly, Senator Mark Kelly. Colorado Senate race, too close to call, Senator Michael Bennet leading over Ken Buck. In the Kansas Senate race, Jerry Morin has defeated Barbara Boilier by a narrower margin than what Roger Marshall won back in 2020, but he still defeated her nonetheless. Louisiana Senate race, John Kennedy has defeated Mary Landrieu and several other contenders, winning the runoff election. In the New York Senate race, Chelsea Clinton, overthrowing the Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, has won, defeating Curtis Silva. She will be going to the Senate. She is the daughter of former President Bill Clinton and former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. North Dakota Senate race, John Hoeven has won re-election, defeating Joshua Bashi. South Dakota Senate race, the Minority Whip John Thune has defeated Stephanie Sandlin to win re-election. The Wisconsin Senate race, too close to call, Senator Ron Johnson leading over Tom Nelson. In the Maryland Senate race, Larry Hogan has flipped a unlikely seat, I guess you could say. Nobody thought at the end of the beginning of this year that Maryland would flip, but here it is now. We can now make the call that Maryland has flipped to the Republican column, as Larry Hogan has won the seat for Republicans, defeating Chris Van Hollen. And we also have another flip from New Hampshire. This one was more, I guess you could say, more possible, but it was also going to be difficult. But Chris Sununu has defeated Maggie Hassan, winning another seat for Republicans. The Florida Senate race, too close to call. Rubio now leading over Crist. A swing. We already have our first battleground of the night. In the Pennsylvania Senate race, Tom Wolf still leading over Donald Trump Jr. In the Arizona governor race, it is too close to call. Katie Hobbs, the Secretary of State of Arizona, is leading over Congressman David Schweikert. Colorado Governor Jared Polis has won re-election, defeating Bob Bayprez. The Kansas governor race, too close to call. Republicans had urged Greg Orman to run as a Republican, hopefully not to split the vote again, and they were successful. Greg Orman has ran as a Republican, and he is leading over Laura Kelly currently. Michigan governor, too close to call. Gretchen Whitmer is currently leading over John James, the two-time Senate candidate from 2018 and 2020. The Minnesota governor race, Tim Walz is leading over businessman Mike Lindell. Nebraska governor race, Mike Foley, Lieutenant Governor Mike Foley has defeated Bob Crist to become governor of Nebraska. New Mexico governor race, Michelle Lujan Grisham has won re-election, defeating John Sanchez. The New York governor race, Andrew Cuomo has defeated Eric Trump. Eric Trump, the second son of Donald Trump, failed to garner enough support to defeat Andrew Cuomo. Did not have the same luck his sister did. And it looks like right now that his brother might not have any luck either, winning his seat. The South Dakota governor race, Kristi Noem has won a re-election, defeating Jason Frerichs. The Texas governor race, Greg Abbott has won a re-election, defeating Julian Castro. Wisconsin governor race, too close to call. Governor Tony Evers is leading over former Congressman Sean Duffy. The Wyoming governor race, very popular governor Mark Gordon has won, defeating James W. Byrd. We now have a call of the Connecticut governor race. It is a flip, a very shocking flip, as Linda McMahon has defeated Ned Lamont. We know this race was going to be close, but nobody thought that Linda McMahon was going to beat Ned Lamont after her two failed Senate runs. Maybe this says something about John James. Will history repeat tonight when John James, that failed two-time senator, beat Gretchen Whitmer like Linda McMahon just did? In the Florida governor race, Ron DeSantis has kept his seat by a closer margin than expected, as he's defeated Jane Castor to win re-election. The Maine governor race, Janet Mills has won re-election, defeating Paula Page. In the Maryland governor race, John Delaney has won, defeating Boyd Rutherford. This was a very close election, and we all expected this race to be close, as Boyd Rutherford, a very popular lieutenant governor of Maryland, but John Delaney, but we know how much of a blue stronghold Maryland is, and John Delaney has kept most of the blue voters to win. In the New Hampshire governor race, Andrew Volinsky has flipped the governorship, as he's defeated Don Bolduc to flip the governorship blue. The Pennsylvania governor race, Lieutenant Governor John Fetterman has won the governorship, defeating Mike Turzai. Very popular Lieutenant Governor John Fetterman is, and many hope for him to be a better governor than the last. The Rhode Island governor, Matt Brown, has defeated Alan Fung, very popular progressive in Rhode Island. Failed to primary Gino Raimondo in 2018, but won the nomination now, and he has won the Rhode Island governor race. It is now 10 p.m. and the following states have poll closings. In the Iowa Senate race, President Pro Tempore Emeritus Chuck Grassley has won, defeating Christy Vilsack. He has won re-election to another term. In the Nevada Senate race, too close to call, Catherine Cortez Masto is leading over Daniel Tarkanian. In the Utah Senate race, Mike Lee has won a re-election, defeating former Congressman Ben McAdams. In the Colorado Senate race, Michael Bennett has won a re-election, defeating Ken Buck. In the Arizona Senate race, too close to call, Doug Ducey still leading over Mark Kelly. Wisconsin Senate race, too close to call, Ron Johnson still leading over Tom Nelson. The Florida Senate race, too close to call, Charlie Crist now leading over Marco Rubio. The Pennsylvania Senate race, too close to call, Tom Wolf still leading over Donald Trump Jr. In the Iowa governor race, Kim Reynolds has won re-election, defeating Nate Bolton. In the Nevada governor race, Steve Sisolak is leading over his opponent, Mark Amodei, a Congressman, Mark Amodei. At the Kansas governor race, Greg Orman has won, defeating Laura Kelly, flipping the governorship back to red. Though there are some rumors that he might just end up going back to being an independent. We don't know. Those are just rumors, however. The Arizona governor race, too close to call, Katie Hobbs still leading over David Schweikert. Michigan governor race. John James now leading over Gretchen Whitmer. This is huge. John James is leading over the governor. There were impeachment attempts earlier within the year for to impeach and remove Gretchen Whitmer, but nothing ever came out of that, and her popularity just steadily decreased as time came, and John James might take it from her. In the Minnesota governor race, Tim Walz is still leading over Mike Lindell. Wisconsin governor race, Tony Evers still leading over Sean Duffy. In the California Senate race, Alex Padilla has defeated Tom Steyer to win his first full term to the Senate. He was appointed by Governor Gavin Newsom to fill in Vice President Kamala Harris's time in office while she served as vice president. And Alex Padilla there was a lot of doubt that Padilla could win a full term in the Senate, but it looks like he's done, defeating billionaire Tom Steyer. In the Hawaii Senate race, Brian Schatz has defeated Charles DeJoe to win re-election. In the Idaho Senate race, Mike Crapo has won, defeating David Bieter. In the Oregon Senate race, Ron Wyden has defeated Joey Perkins. This is a state that Republicans hope to get closer, but Ron Wyden still won by 12 points, or 12 or 13 based off the data, and he has won re-election to another term in the Senate. In the Washington Senate race, Patty Murray has defeated Joey Gibson to win another term in the Senate. In the Nevada Senate race, no surprise here, Catherine Cortez Masto has won re-election, defeating Daniel Tarkanian. In the Arizona Senate race, another flip for Republicans as a popular governor, Doug Ducey, the third popular governor to flip a blue seat in the Senate, as he has defeated Mark Kelly to flip another seat for Republicans. In the Wisconsin Senate race, Ron Johnson has defeated Tom Nelson, a state that Democrats were hoping to flip but couldn't do it. We now can make a call. The Senate majority will go back to the Republicans, as Mitch McConnell will most likely be reinstated as the majority leader in the Senate. The Republican Party has won a majority in the Senate, first time in about a year and a half, kind of 2 years. And the Florida Senate race is too close to call. Charlie Crist is still leading over Marco Rubio. The Pennsylvania Senate race, too close to call. Tom Wolf still leading over Donald Trump Jr. The California governor race, Gavin Newsom has defeated Cenk Uygur. Cenk Uygur very critical of Gavin Newsom over the past couple of months for many things during his handling of the post-COVID crisis era, I guess you could say. But Gavin Newsom was still able to beat Cenk Uygur fairly safely. The Hawaii governor race, Tulsi Gabbard, very popular in Hawaii, not so much nationwide. Tulsi Gabbard has defeated Andrea Tupula to win re-election, or to become the governor of Hawaii. The Idaho governor race, Brad Little has defeated Brian Cronin to win re-election. The Oregon governor race, too close to call. Ted Wheeler has a narrow lead over Bud Pierce. In the Nevada governor race, Steve Sisolak has won re-election, defeating Mark Amodei. Arizona governor race, Katie Hobbs has flipped a seat blue as she has defeated David Schweikert. David Schweikert hoped to keep the seat red, but Katie Hobbs flipped Arizona blue. The Wisconsin governor race, Tony Evers has defeated Sean Duffy to win re-election. The Michigan governor race, John James still leading over Gretchen Whitmer. The Minnesota governor race, Mike Lindell is now leading over Tim Walz. This could be a shock. Mike Lindell could shock the world and flip Minnesota red. It is now 1 a.m. and the following states have poll closings. In the Alaska Senate race, Sarah Palin has defeated Libertarian Joe Miller. Sarah Palin unseated Lisa Murkowski in the primary, and she is now going to be the new Alaska Senator. The Alaskan governor race, Mike Dunleavy has defeated Byron Mallett to win re-election. The Oregon governor race, Ted Wheeler, the very controversial mayor Ted Wheeler, has defeated Bud Pierce to become the next Oregon governor. In the Pennsylvania Senate race, Tom Wolf has flipped the Pennsylvania Senate seat blue as he has defeated Donald Trump Jr. by a narrow margin, 0.7, 0.8, 0.6%. Tom Wolf will be going to Washington come January. A big flip for Republicans in the Michigan governor race. John James has defeated Gretchen Whitmer to become the governor of Michigan. The Florida Senate race with Charlie Crist has defeated Marco Rubio. Another big flip for Democrats, especially since Donald Trump won the state by 3 points back in 2020. Uh, Probably the biggest shock out of all, Mike Lindell has flipped the Minnesota governor seat. Mike Lindell has defeated Tim Walz to flip the Minnesota governor seat. And the current House majority, we can now call that the House majority, will go to the Republican Party. Republicans will control both houses of Congress in January. This is the Chaotic One saying, peace.